Trail talk time. Out on another beauty of a trail. Just breathing in that fresh chi. Magnificent day today. Sun just a-shining away. Today I wanted to talk about the power of perspective. You know, I see perspective as our superpower because we can't always, control everything that's happening around us in our life, right? We can't always control everything that's going on in the world, but we can certainly, control our own perspective. That's what we have control of. Our attitude towards life and the way that we see things and perceive things. We have the power to change that all the time. And that's what's really been helping me in my life. Realizing that we can let go of trying to control every single thing, every single circumstance, and just focus on what we can control, right? And so our power of focus, that's going to help us, to direct our energy to whatever it is that we want in our life. Infinite Waters says, where focus goes, energy flows, right? And that's so true. If we're in a situation or things are happening in our life that are, sort of negative. It might not feel the greatest. It might not be exactly what we want. We can either just focus on the negative aspects of it and say, wow, this sucks. I hate this. I don't want things to be like this. But really, that's not exactly helpful to just focus on that, right? But if we can change our perspective a little bit and maybe start to ask some different questions, like instead of saying, why is this happening to me? We can ask ourselves, well, what is this teaching me, right? What is this showing me and how is this helping me? And these start to, bring about new forms of searching within our mind, these questions, so that we start to find answers to these questions, right? And so we don't have to feel like a victim, like we have no control over anything in our life, because we do. We have the power of perspective. And it's such a beautiful thing. I was thinking about what the Buddha said about happiness. He said, there is no path to happiness. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Right? We don't need to wait for some circumstance in our life, for some magical thing to happen, some magical moment, or something external to us to bring us happiness. We can bring about our own happiness by just simply choosing to be happy now. And of course, sometimes it's easier than other times to do this. And of course, we're not supposed to be happy all the time, right? There'll be moments when sadness will come about, or anger or frustration, and those are all, just a beautiful part of this life. I've spoken in other videos about, we wouldn't even know what happiness feels like if there wasn't all of this range of different emotions to compare it to in the first place. But the point is that we are the ones that will ultimately create these feelings within us, and nobody can, do that for us. And so we can't wait for anything external to bring us that happiness, right? Because then what if those things that we're, awaiting don't actually come to us? Then we'll just be left disappointed and we'll never really find our happiness. And so we have to search within ourselves for that happiness, for whatever we need, because it's all within us. We're the ones who have that power. And again, it's your power, it's our power of perspective. It's that, way that we see things that will bring it about, that will bring about those feelings. And it's really empowering to realize that, right? We're always the ones that ultimately decide that for ourselves. We decide our perspective, right? There can be something going on. For example, this whole coronavirus situation. And, you can call it one thing going on, this situation, but every single person has a different perspective on it, right? Every single person will, act differently within the situation. Some people may, become disempowered from the situation. They may feel helpless. They may feel useless. Some other people may look at the situation and start to grow from it and start to become more empowered by utilizing the shift and capitalizing on the situation, right? I was reading something that Albert Einstein said about crisis. He said, in every crisis lies a great opportunity, right? So while some people might look at a so-called crisis as, just being a negative thing and just look at all the negatives from it, others may look to the situation and find, so much benefit that can be brought about. They may look at the advantages that are brought about and start to capitalize on the situation. And the only difference is that perspective, right? Instead of just seeing doors closing on you, you can realize that when certain doors close, a whole bunch of other doors are opening up for you. As one path is being blocked off, a whole array of other paths are open for you now to explore and experience something new. And it's truly, a gift that we're given to be able to have our own personal, unique perspective on life, right? That's what makes life so interesting. We all have this one earth to live in, but everybody's living in a different world, right? We're living in our own little world. And so we get to choose, how our experience will be in this world. We might not get to choose everything that's happening all around us and all of these circumstances, but we get to choose, our vantage point and the way that we see it. And it's so amazing. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share for today. Just a quick little tip that I've been, realizing in my life. It's quite freeing to let go of control of everything and to realize that no matter what happens in your life, you can use it to your advantage if you're able to take on that perspective. And really what's helped me is to ask those more empowering questions You know, instead of taking that role of the victim, you know, thinking that we're a victim of circumstance, we can realize we have the power to choose our perspective and ask more empowering questions like, what is this really teaching me? How is this empowering me right now? How is this useful for me? And you realize that everything in life can be useful. Everything in life can be used to our advantage, to our benefit. Like I said, sometimes it's harder to find that to find that benefit, to find the advantage in it, but it's always there. It's always here now. So we have to surrender to whatever is, right? Surrender to all that is. We can't be resisting life and resisting the moment. That's when we really feel like a victim. We have to surrender to whatever's going on and say, wow, I accept this fully. You know, and I'm gonna make the best of it. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope everyone has an amazing day. Peace and limitless love.